coming up. Our next guest, a star on Nickelodeon's hit sitcom iCarly. What many fans of the teen star don't realize is he's also a big promoter of healthy eating for kids. Reed Alexander recently stopped in our studio for a healthy eating cooking demo. And since he's a teen star, we asked a teen daughter of one of our studio crew to do the interview for us. And of course, she was delighted to do it. Here now is Kristen Check. She is the daughter of one of our crew members, Becky Check. She's here with Reed Alexander.
Hi, I'm Kristen Check of Mars Area High School. I'm with Reed Alexander of Nickelodeon's iCarly talking about healthy eating for kids. So, what made you get involved in this program?
You know, one day I realized I was lacking energy, I was overweight, I'd been building up for quite a long time. I have a relative that passed away from heart disease and diabetes, which is really prevalent in my family, and I knew I had to make a change. So that's when I did something I absolutely love. I got in the kitchen and started cooking nutritious meals that would satisfy me. I made exercise less of a chore, something I really look forward to, and made health a priority.
So how long ago was this that you decided to change your habits for the better?
It was about 1.5 years ago, Kristen, and I definitely had a wake-up call. Like I said, the way I was feeling, I knew I had to change something up, and this was it. And I'm so excited to be able to share that with you. We're going to have a great time cooking up an awesome recipe.
Cool. So what were some of the biggest things you had to change when you decided to start a new lifestyle?
I definitely had to change my eating habits and how I thought about food. I had to become much more practical. I had to know that if I was going to be healthy as well, you know, it couldn't just be one of those things where I'd stop having everything I wanted just, you know, right away. I definitely had to find ways to enjoy food, to make exercise something that could be really realistic for me. So that was one of the biggest changes, realizing that health is something that's very attainable and something that I could do.
So when did you start to notice a difference after you started changing your eating habits?
Well, several months after, I lost about 15 pounds, and I was so encouraged, especially when people would tell me the same thing, you know, Reed, it looks like you've really made a change. I felt the difference. I had more confidence, my appearance changed, and I felt, you know, better about myself. So it was very inspirational to not only, you know, realize that, but to also hear it from others, and I really appreciated it.
So what can our fans expect to see you doing next in iCarly?
We've got a great season coming up, season 4, a ton of new episodes. You're going to get to see a whole new side of Neville, so I hope you guys like it.
Can we still expect to see Neville be the nemesis?
I can't answer that. It's a little bit of a top secret, but I have to tell you, like I said, there is going to be a bit of a switch. I don't know how great Neville can be on a 24/7 basis, but you'll have to tune in for the full scoop. But something's coming up that might be a little surprising.
So how do you promote healthy eating, do the shows, and keep up with all your schoolwork?
I'm not quite sure, but I have to tell you, I love it all. You know, I have a great time in school working with incredible classmates who I've been able to really interact with when it comes to health. I love acting so much, so it's definitely something that's a big part of my life. And luckily for me, school and acting can go hand in hand. But in terms of healthy eating, you know, it's so much fun to get in the kitchen and be able to share that with people on my website, coolbites.com. I blog all the time. I share recipes, healthy tips, and it's great to be able to write people back on email or tweet and really have that interaction with them that enables them to get in the kitchen or them to take control of their healthy lifestyles.
All right, so let's start cooking.
Absolutely. Okay, we're making apple pie bars. Do you love apple pie?
I do.
Awesome. I mean, it's totally a crowd favorite, but to pack it into a snack size bar, it's nutritious, it's good for you, it's healthy, and it's really yummy. So why don't we start over here? I've got a big mixing bowl. I'm going to start adding some ingredients. Do you want to mix for me?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay, thanks. Our dry ingredients, a cup of whole wheat flour, fiber, whole grain. We're not using white flour here. This is more nutritious. 2/3 of a cup of raw sugar as opposed to using white processed sugar. And I've got 1/3 of a cup of uncooked quick oats, which are really heart healthy. And plus, they're going to make a great texture. So you want to stir that up for me if that's okay, please. And then I've got a teaspoon of baking powder. It's going to help our batter to rise in the oven. It's really cool how it does that. A pinch of salt enhances all of the delicious flavors that we love in apple pie. Just like 1 3/4 of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Do you love cinnamon too?
Yeah.
Super aromatic and sweet and delicious. It's really great. Okay, so those are our dry ingredients, and you can see how simple that was. I'm going to get started on the wet. Do you want to help me with this?
Sure.
Okay, so that's 1/2 cup of egg whites mixed with 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. A ton of flavor. I'm using egg whites, not egg yolks, because those are high in cholesterol and fat. Exactly. So if you want to add those in, while I add 2 teaspoons of reduced calorie butter that I've just melted a little in the microwave. Exactly. Just go ahead and dump it all in. I'll stir this up. Okay, so our batter is going to start to come together in just a second here. And then the last 2 ingredients I like to stir in are really delicious. I use 1/3 of a cup of raisins because they're chewy, but plus they're a natural source of sweetness and flavor. So that goes right in. And then an apple pie. You need apples. 1 1/4 cups of chopped red sweet apples. I picked these up at Market District in Robinson. They are so full of flavor. They're really delicious, and that's going to translate into the finished product. So when that batter comes together, I slide it into an 8 by 8 inch square baking pan. Bake it for 20 minutes on 350 degrees. I have to tell you, it smells so great while it's baking.
It already smells good.
I'm so glad you like it. Awesome. And then when it comes right out of the oven, we let it cool, if you can handle that. And then cut it into about 8 bars. And you want to take a taste? See how they came out? Okay, awesome. Cheers.
It's really good.
Thank you.
I like this.
I'm so glad you like it. Well, I have to tell you, Kristen, I had a great time making with you. Thanks so much for having me here on Pittsburgh Today Live.
I'm Kristen Scheck with Reed Alexander. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, Kristen, we're going to have to find out if it's as good as what you say. It is very, very good. To know that she could take my job is not so good. But the apple pie cake is really, really outstanding. Reed at the Market District over the weekend, by the way. Our thanks to the Market District for bringing him to our studios as well. We get an awesome opportunity to meet somebody like Reed, to get a recipe from him, to have Kristen here as well. Certainly a great part of the day. More healthy eating and exercise tips all on Reed Alexander's website. You'll find the link at kdka.com/PTL.